Grades in high school are a lie. Letters and numbers on a page do not determine your destiny, your self-worth, and certainly shouldn't determine your mental health. At this point, you're probably thinking, is this really true? Like, is this just clickbait? What about college? What about building my resume and setting myself up for success? All very valid concerns. So today, in this video, we're gonna break down the myth that grades are the end-all be-all. Then I'm gonna give you the 5 key success factors outside of getting straight A's that will make your high school experience a total success and actually prepare you for your next steps in life. Finally, we're obviously going to talk about the whole college issue, so make sure to watch to the end. Now, before we dive into anything, I'd invite you to ask yourself one question. What do you think your path will be after high school? Because the reality is there are so many different paths you actually can take. You can join the military, you can start a business, you could go to college, you could take some time off. There's a whole bunch of different routes. And I think it's really important to really think about what those different routes will require. For instance, the military, they're not really going to be looking at your grades. What they're going to be looking at is if you've graduated. And to be honest with you, you can be breathing and they're going to push you through. So that's not necessarily something you have to worry about. Now, if you want to start a business, of course, there's nothing stopping you. You should start one right now. And obviously, if you're going to take some time off, you probably deserve it, right? Go backpacking in Europe, go do whatever you need to do, go find yourself because you're going to have the rest of your life to be busy. Now, what about trying to actually just go right into the workforce, getting a job that might be close to what you actually want to do, or maybe even an internship? A study in 2023 by Intelligent.com found that 55% of companies eliminated bachelor's degrees requirements, and 4 out of 5 employers value experience over education when evaluating job candidates. So what does that tell you? It tells you that companies, more so than ever now, and probably going to be continuing to grow, are looking at you as the person, not necessarily what some paper told you and what some number or some letter told you who you are. What can you bring to the table? Because remember, a company needs to make money. So if you can make them money, then yay, awesome. So let's get into the myth, right? The myth that grades are the end-all be-all. Well, I want to tell you a little bit about my situation. When I graduated high school, I graduated with an 83. That's a B, barely above a B minus. Not necessarily great college grades. And I applied to some local schools. I wanted to stay home. And I got into, I think I applied to 4 schools, whatever. I got into 3 of them. And my top choice school, and this is just a general private university, Hofstra University, I got waitlisted. Why? Well, because probably didn't have the great grades. Kevin, your video is imploding today. Hear me out. I was a musician. I was majoring in music education. I declared my major. Guess who calls me on my house phone? Remember, we didn't have cell phones back then. The director of the band, Dr. Boonshaft. Fantastic name. Dr. Boonshaft calls me and literally says these words.
Kevin, listen, I get a favor from the dean every year. And if you are choosing to come to Hofstra, if Hofstra is going to be your first choice school, I can have you taken off the waiting list.
And I'm like, do that? I was pumped. I was like, yes, that's the whole plan. Great. And then he says,
and you promise you have to play in the band.
Dr. Boonshaft called me because he needed a euphonium player. He needed a decent euphonium player for his band because half of you, and probably 99% of you watching this video are saying, what is a euphonium? Well, not to get down that rabbit hole, but a euphonium is like a small tuba, and it's only used in military bands and concert wind bands, meaning at the high school and collegiate level. That's it. So there's very few and far between of us. So he was like, I need that. You're giving me value. Grades, whatever. Just play in the band. I'll take care of it. That's my story, but I can tell you how many classes I was in college, and I'd look at these athletes, and I know who they were, because either they were wearing, half of them were looking like this. And I know we all know that they're not all here because they were academic scholars, right? They're playing on a team and they were pushed through. So that's another situation. What is your assets? What are you developing in high school? What about Amy Wang? Let's talk about Amy Wang. Amy Wang is a great YouTuber, and Amy graduated high school with a 4.8 GPA. 4.8, that's like, there's perfect, and then there's more than, there's perfectist, there's more than, yeah, that's 4.8, that's insane. That's insane. She applied to a bunch of Ivy Leagues. You would think that would be enough, right? No. Amy got rejected, I believe, from one or a couple of her schools. But then we're asking, yeah, okay, what is the point then? Tell me, what is the point of grades? Before we get into the whole college situation, I want to spell out now the 5 key success factors that you are going to be able to leverage in your time in high school while you're not so focused on this one singular thing of being a straight A perfect student, because clearly it's not everything. Number 1, relationships. Relationships are such a huge thing that you want to develop, not even just with your friends, but you're going to be able to start networking. Let me explain something to you. You will, or possibly will, meet people that you will have professional connections with past the 4 years of college, past your like in your professional world in high school. And they may not necessarily be directly in your high school, but for instance, I myself was, again, a musician, and I've done numerous outside wind bands and ensembles in high school, one of them being Nassau Suffolk. Nassau Suffolk, there were, I can't even tell you how many people that were directors in that group then later became my colleagues that I've played professionally with, that I've taught with their students and vice versa. And the relationships and the things that you develop, hopefully positive, not necessarily negative, are going to set you up for great relationships and great networking opportunities past high school. Number 2, communication skills. Communicating is such a fundamental thing in life. Not only even are you going to develop the communication skills, right, the social and emotional awareness and intelligence, but you're also going to have skills that you're going to be able to bring to the table, whether you apply to college or not. You're going to have definitely a more of a creative asset for you when you write your college applications, if you go down that road, or more importantly, when you take a job application and a job interview. Those times that you are actually developing that skill to communicate, you will be able to not only nail that interview, but you'll have something interesting to say. Number 3, professional skills. So again, come back to my situation as a musician. You may be an athlete, you may be a writer, you may be an actor. Whatever you do in high school, you're going to develop that skill, that thing that makes you who you are, and you're going to bring that into the world moving forward. And I can tell you that same mentality takes and continues past high school. For instance, when I transitioned out of being a music teacher and getting into the business world and the corporate world, like, there's a huge transition. Like, what do you have to offer? You taught hot cross buns to 4th graders. Like, what are you doing? By developing a business prior to this one, I learned how to do online marketing. I learned how to do Facebook ads. I learned how to do, landing page optimization. I learned how to do all these skills. So when I was able to get an interview, I nailed it because I brought to the table so much value. Once again, magic word, value. Number 4, resume building. What did you actually do in high school other than go to class? I mean, imagine, I know you know students that are like this, who literally just go to class and go home. Like, yeah, I mean, they have friends, obviously, and they have, they may, whatever they do at home, but like, they have hobbies, but like, there's nothing really to put on a resume. I mean, if you are somebody who is doing anything past high school that wants to make any type of living, I'm assuming that's all of us, you have to have something that brings, once again, magic word, to the table. You have to bring value to either a college, an internship, a job, a partner in a business, whatever it may be, or a partner in your personal life. You have to bring value. So having that experience will ultimately build your resume, if you will. And finally, number 5 is self-discovery. For me, I had some of the best 4 years I've ever had in my life in high school. Maybe that's a sad thing to say. I don't know. My wife had the best 4 years in college, so it is what it is. My experiences of learning who I was through those 4 years has shaped me infinitely to be a much better human being. It's one of the reasons why all of this exists, to make an upgrade, literally to upgrade a previous version of myself that had so many limiting beliefs and so many issues. That self-discovery, that time learning who I was is so important. And if you're just so focused on your grades and you're so focused on one thing, then you're not going to have that ample time to figure out who you are, who your friends are, what is right, what is wrong, and what, again, you will enter the world with as a person. So, what is the one situation where you are going to absolutely need perfect grades? Because there is one, and I'll tell you what it is. If you are somebody who wants to apply and be accepted to a prestigious Ivy League school, you are going to need perfect and beyond perfect grades. That's the reality of this. But clearly, it's still not the end-all be-all, because you can have perfect grades, but if you don't have that perfect essay, if you don't have the proper perfect clubs and activities on your resume to fit that prestigious Ivy League school, because my friends, Harvard and Brown are looking for two different personas. They're looking for two different students. Then you're still not going to get accepted. It comes down to this question that I have for you. If you are one of these people who want so desperately to attend a prestigious Ivy League school, my question to you is, why? And I mean that sincerely. I'm not trying to mess around here. I'm asking you why. Do you know why? If you know exactly why and you enjoy that answer, then perfect. Go for it. Then stop watching this video and start studying. But if you're not exactly sure why, a huge moment for you right now is to figure out that answer. And if it's not a compelling, positive answer, then I highly suggest you find a new path. Because for me, I mean, I clearly had never had a chance at Ivy League schools, but the reason I never had a chance was because I didn't want the chance. I chose to do different things with my time in high school instead of just literally cramming my face in a book and trying to, because I had this ultimate goal to go to Yale or Brown, whatever. So again, why do you want this? Make high school some of the best 4 years of your life by the mindset you choose. Am I saying to goof off and flunk all your classes? Of course not. Am I saying to take a more holistic approach to your success? Yes, absolutely. Make sure to spend time with your friends. Go out on that date. Join that club that you're thinking of joining. Or maybe you're someone who's already joined too many clubs and you're trying to find some balance between your activities and your schoolwork. If that sounds like you, then just go ahead and watch this video right here.